we're back for episode 3 of The Wizard, and episode 3 should be Wizard Wisdom. Don't you think you're interested in learning about the Wizard's wisdom? You know, sure, we've all seen Star Wars and Yoda. Sure, you might have seen Gandalf and some of the other wizards. Maybe even Harry Potter, so forth and so on. But how about if you're with a real wizard? Why a real wizard? Because they're the ones who thought the problems through. So, let's take some of those deep challenges and things that you're interested in. Let's take something like politics in the United States. Wizard, any thoughts on that?
Like, what kind of thought would you like to have?
So how do you think our country is doing in the United States?
You know, in episode number 3, I don't want, there's a part of me, like I'm concerned about wit here, okay? I'm not concerned about the FBI,
Wizard
okay?
training.
I'm not concerned about the FBI coming after me. I'm the wizard. Like, they're not going to mess with me. Governments don't mess with the wizard. But if you're a wit, okay, they might go ahead and come after.
Wizard in training.
Right. They might come after Lou. And so when you look at it, I know there's a young man, and he is now 17, and when he was 15, and he's a wit too, but he's more advanced than Lou. And he went ahead and wrote a book, and it was The Art of Seduction of the Masses. When you think about it, it's kind of crazy. Like, why would anybody not want to be a wizard? Because the art of seduction of the masses, anything big, like big government, big education, big business, big media, big medical, big, like, everything, they seduce the masses. Like, what's up with that? Like, they draw people in. Look at the Senate and Congress. They bring three people to testify before Congress. Why? Again, he's still learning. He hasn't thought about this stuff. Like, how can people not think about this? Oh, that's right, because they're on their cell phones, because they're not really thinking about things that are important. But they bring 3 witnesses to testify to seduce 325 million people in the United States that the government listens to us. 3 people? Like, 3 people represent 325 million people? And who do you think selects the 3 people? Like, I'm sure they would never game the system. Like, it's just kind of crazy. And we could talk about, one other big thing too, is big religion. Like, big religion, like, one other thing we haven't shared with, our group, our wits, we should get a t-shirt or something with, wizard in training, is that the wizard is socially autistic too.
There you go.
Now,
do you need to explain that?
Most of the time, people will say, I don't understand what social autism is.
So why don't you explain that, Wizard?
So, social autism, like, I remember, like, wizards are married too. And so I've got a wife, and, once I was saying, I'm socially autistic to my wizardess wife, and she said, you're not socially autistic. I'm like, yes, I am. Like, she doesn't understand rule number 1.
The wizard's always right.
Right. She does, like,
check The Wizard Life, episode number 1.
Right. If she would just have learned that, life would have been a lot better. But she didn't. I'm like, yes, I can. She's like, you've never been diagnosed as socially autistic. I'm like, yes, I did. She's like, you can't self-diagnose. I'm like, yes, I can. I'm the wizard. Like, the wizard can self-diagnose these things. She's like, you can't do that. You've got to be a doctor. I'm like, the wizard is smarter than all doctors.
When you're a wizard.
You're smarter than the whole medical community. And she's like, you're not smarter. Like, why does she continue to question the wizard?
Episode 1.
Anyways, so she's like, you're not smarter than the whole medical community. I'm like, yes, I am. Do you not remember when we had 3 small children and you took them into the doctor and they said that they had to have amoxicillin? And I said, they don't need amoxicillin for ear infection. She's like, yes, they do. Oh, do you know, like Christians? Oh. Anyways, we'll have a lot of fun with that. Do you know, by the way, I don't know how much you know about Christianity, but do you know what the seventh day, what was created on the seventh day?
Rest.
No. That's not true.
Okay, what's created on the seventh day?
It's vitamins and medication.
Nice.
I mean, you have people in your life that take vitamins, right?
Sure.
They have to take them, otherwise they die. Or medication. Like, you have to have medication, otherwise you die. So something's missing in the Bible. We're on day 7. It should be vitamins and medication. Anyways, I told her, I'm like, the kids don't need, amoxicillin. She's like, yes, they do. Are they going to go ahead and become deaf? I'm like, they're not going to become deaf. Like the wizard understand natural laws, things that they don't teach in college.
So did your kids get a vaccination or no?
No, they didn't get amoxicillin.
So you out-talked the doctor and your wife.
Right.
That's pretty impressive.
So she's like, she was not happy with me. But then 10 years later, she's reading a woman's magazine, and what does she find 10 years later?
That the vaccinations are bad for them.
The amoxicillin. It's like their doctors are over-prescribing, medication, and so then they have to put tubes in the ears.
Ah, that's bad.
Now, did they learn from this thing? No, they didn't. So the whole medical community, heart goes out. If you're a doctor, hey, sorry about that. I'm sure you're not one of the masses of the doctors that prescribed amoxicillin, or all of the OPEDs that it's like, oh my gracious, like people are, like there's more people that are dying from medicated drug overdose. But do you know whose fault that is? It's not the doctors.
Big pharma.
It's business, big business, because big business is always the one that goes ahead and takes the heat, which they actually should. If you're big business, again, remember, this is entertainment, okay? If you're the FBI looking at this, this is entertainment, all right? Don't shoot the wizard, because bad things will happen, which, there's a lot of them out there. I mean, nothing to offend you.
No offense taken.
Okay.